hey, hey, wake up. Hey, hey, wake up.
Now, there's no way for me to know this for sure, but you may be watching Ivo Pogorelic playing the piano and think to yourself, my God, but his fingers are strong. Yes, indeed, he's very strong. But more importantly, he has found ways of playing which conserves his energy. He isn't using up all of his strength. I'll give you one example of this. When you play piano, you want to stabilize your hand and hold your fingertips near to each other in a circle shape. And it's good to conserve a little space between each fingertip. This means that multiple fingers are in a ready position to play at a moment's notice, rather than needing to work hard to prepare each note. Hi, I'm Thomas Azar, and welcome back to my channel. I'm loving watching the subscriptions grow. Today, we're discussing some of the most important, most key movements to help you develop your command of the piano. Let's start with some discussions of ways to move the full arm, and then we will gradually make our way down to the forearm, the wrists, and finally the fingertips. And just so you know, endless quantities of videos can be made on this subject. And they will. Oh, yes, they will. Let's begin by saying you have to practice slowly. Yes, I know you know that, but very few students actually do it, or they do not do it enough. It's the only way you can develop your high-quality movements. Unless you're someone like Yuja Wang or Daniil Trifonov. But I know Daniil practices slowly because he talks about it on his interviews. Still, there are some people who can get away with not practicing slowly, but for most of us, it's an essential element of our training. Today's topic, high-quality movements, means we will investigate the kinds of movements used by great artists which make playing infinitely easier. They make your playing sound spectacular. They are more memorable, and therefore they give you a stronger memory of your music. They help you play, and they reduce performance anxiety. Whenever people ask me the popular question, I'm nervous about my upcoming performance, what can I do? This is my number one answer. Learn more about high-quality movements. To me, this is the most important key to combating performance anxiety, to gaining confidence on stage. I'm not saying this is the only answer, and there will be a video soon on performance anxiety, but learning to use more high-quality movements is the biggest part of solving that issue. Do this movement exercise with me. Play 2 white keys in each hand. One on finger 1, one on finger 5. Play heavy, rest in the key, stay in the key. Puppet lift, move towards face, move towards another area. If your sound is muddy, you're doing this incorrectly. Make the sound you hear in your head. Make it focused and intentional. You have to know what it feels like to play piano. It's a discipline, and it's way more fun once you've figured this out. It should not feel like you're moving in great ways. Each movement needs to be well-defined and understandable to yourself and to your subconscious mind, which is encoding a lot of it. The right technical movements support the expression of the music. The arms work with the breath. When you breathe in, your arms lift. And when you breathe out, your arms drop. There are many exceptions, of course, but this is the fundamental thing to understand about the arms and playing in a supported way. The sound begins with the diaphragm. Early on with my students, I say, let's work on moving your arm in a complicated way. See how your elbow and fingertips move in an opposing way? I recently said to one of my 4-year-olds who is quite interested in learning how to play, imagine your arm is a dragon. Let's let the dragon dive. Let the dragon fall for every note. What happens if we push the dragon down? Can you push more? Chopin calls this souffle. It's the feeling that you should not be in stasis, but you should be in a tumult, like a hurricane. This provides the chance to produce sounds which are healthy, vibrant, alive, and expressive. This is very important. The reason you need to keep moving between notes, allow a rising and falling arm as if your arm is being foisted up by waves, is that each sound must be produced by a falling mass or a falling weight. Practice slowly and think a lot about the rising and falling of your arm weight. The sound does not occur at the end of a movement, but rather in the middle of it. The movement preceding each sound is called a prep movement, and the continuation after is the follow-through. Also, notice the shifting of your arm weight to the right and to the left as you change fingers. This is called alignment, and it is also called support. Another way to say this is grab each key, and after the sound, allow your body to move in the way that it needs, in the most efficient way to make the sound, usually some kind of throw. Many ask why rotation is necessary. In a word, leverage. So when we play from a black key to a white key, we have a bit of leverage built in since the keys are on two separate planes. But when you play from a white key to another white key, that leverage is now gone. But you can still play with leverage if you use rotation. Think of a slow motion movie and think of the laws of physics. How does mass rebound and swing? Remember, you're using a combination of lifts and thrusts and swings. You should feel yourself pick up your arm at appropriate times and throw your arm at appropriate times. I have found that exquisite phrasing and control has much more to do with how you move in between the notes than how you move to produce each tone. Although, of course, they are both important. But I'm talking about creating a mood, a character, or an atmosphere. Here is an example. Here's the slow middle section of the Pathetique, Movement 3, some of Beethoven's exquisite counterpoint, the rondo. This is the middle section in A flat major, the submediant of our home key of C minor. The success of the phrasing here depends on how I prepare each next sound. Let's discuss a high-quality staccato touch. There are several different kinds of staccato, but I want to show you the main one. The first staccato touch you need to be certain you have in your arsenal of staccato touches. I call it the check mark, and the reason is because the main parts of it are a small and extremely quick downward movement, followed by a larger upward movement. It is important that the upward movement be much more prominent than the downward movement to be a staccato touch of true quality. Many people say you can't physically move up more than you move down without rearranging time and space. Yes, I know, but the movement itself is characterized by a faster speed, so don't count the places where we move slowly, the place when we need to slowly float down closer to the key again to prepare for the next staccato as part of the high-quality movement in question. So you have the checkmark movement, which produces a very fine staccato, and then a slower, graceful descent to prepare the next staccato. It's important to show your body where shifts of position are. Don't play in a gray way where all of your movements are melded together and your brain doesn't know what kind of quality movements to produce. Making a prominent event in your body at any and all position shifts is a high quality movement. The way you move shows your mind how to group the notes. Movements for shifts very often coincide with musical phrasing too. Let's look at measure 30 of the beret. This happens a lot, where something doesn't feel good. Oftentimes, your mind and body are anticipating something difficult, such as a large leap. Here, there is a leap from C sharp to B flat, the interval of a diminished seventh, and at first I found that it felt uncomfortable in this measure. What fixed it for me was slow practicing and really being sure that the weight of my arm is centered on every key, and also that both my mind and body do not anticipate the leap, which causes a tightening up of the body and even a tightening up or cramping of the mind. It is also useful to practice with different rhythms. You can show your mind and body how to find easier ways of playing the very same pitch pattern. The rhythms allow you to strategically exaggerate gestures between tricky leaps. High-quality movements. They're not necessarily what you think they are. For example, pull towards your body. There is a movement I like to call wrist tornadoes, which really helps me with scale playing and arpeggios. It looks like this. In the past, I've also called this steering the witch's cauldron. Why a witch's cauldron? Because it's very large, and you want to exaggerate this movement until your body learns it. Now let's look at Schubert measure 295. After you play finger 4, this finger can puff up and stand up like Thing does in Addams Family, which provides you with beautiful leverage to then swoop down and play finger 2. This is an advanced technique, but it's an idea of how you can have more pillowy sounds and produce a better, more projecting tone. A big problem of studying piano is often the best, most potent, most transformative advice comes in simple packaging. So it can be easy for many people to overlook it and not take advantage. Here's an example of powerful advice which seems simple at the surface level. Find the best way to move. Find the easiest way to move. Or find the most efficient way to move. Now remember, that's not the whole answer, but it's a massive part of this answer. finding the most high-quality movements available to you. Watch Sir Andras Schiff. His movements are very quiet. Even when he's playing loud, his movements are quiet. That means he has wonderful economy of motion. His fingers are often flattish, if not flat. He stays very close to the keys, and he uses the most direct, the most effective movements imaginable. The piano absolutely comes to life under his touch, but it's hard to see what he's really doing. He says you need to practice a lot to build this. Sometimes fast and sometimes slow, but always musically. The music is your guide. When we're learning the proper movements for piano, there is a disconnect between what we think the movements should be, or what we want them to be, and what they actually are. So be sure you have a good teacher to explain what these are, or watch videos like this one. And once you know what they actually are, teach yourself to be happy about playing them. Since these movements are real and correct, this means that they reveal how your body truly moves most efficiently. Even if awkward at first, eventually it feels transcendently amazing to do them. And there should be a deep satisfaction in moving your body in these prescribed ways. The piano keys respond better to higher velocities. Keep the tempo slow, but the key speed fast. This is a big secret for a good piano sound. You get more clarity and precision and quality tone. Imagine your fingertip has a screw sticking out of it. What this does is give you stronger leverage between notes. It trains your body how to grasp the current note while adjusting to prepare for the next note. Eventually, the screw movement becomes integrated, and it doesn't disappear, but it becomes less noticeable. At the same time, find the way to get your larger body behind every note. Okay, let's talk about something I call the Parasite touch. I'm sorry, but the idea is to attach your body in the strongest possible terms to the notes, to feel solid and connected. Especially finger 2 and 3 are experts at doing this. You want to gain a feeling of planting your body on each of these downbeats and organizing the other notes around them. This movement is the combination of many other movements. Well, I have really enjoyed making this video, and I'm looking forward to the next one. There's going to be a lot more about high-quality movements. This is just scratching the surface. Please write anything in the comment section. Even if you disagree, I welcome that. And I will see you on the next video.
I'm not a mute, I'm just a string of shells. I'm no mute, just used to speak too soon. Keep your talk, it's you who verm in my hate. Keep your shrieks, I'm all ears to myself. Lost my voice, stop rushing me. There are faces in the mirror. Give me some time to wear it on the road. Leave me be. Walking the walk.